Well, let me wipe this camera off a little bit. Seems a little fuzzy. A little fuzzy. All right. There was a lot more to that Ohio State loss that I didn't talk about in the 13-minute video that I uploaded that I missed because that was the day after. I was still pretty pissed. Still am pretty pissed, but there was a lot more I did not talk about that I feel we need to discuss. And that first, what the hell? What the hell just happened? Anyways, there was a lot to that Ohio State loss that I didn't talk about that I think we need to. Um, I didn't cover it on the 13-minute video just because there was so much I had to get off my chest. Emotions were running high, and yeah. So the first thing was about the kicker. I just thought this was pretty funny. At the game, they pulled a random person onto the field, and he drilled a 35-yarder for $1,000. If that doesn't hurt, I don't know what does. Anyways, so you have that. What else happened? Oh yeah, on the final 4 possessions of that game, so 17 plays, Emeka and Jeremiah Smith combined for 2 targets. 2 targets. Oh, I don't even know how to feel about that. Another dumb move is that the drive that Michigan kicked the game-winning field goal on to win it. Coming off the timeout, it was 3rd and 3. Michigan called a timeout, and we had a 12 men on the field penalty, or sorry, legal substitution, but there was 12 men on the field, so same thing. But gives Michigan the first down, and then they were able to chew the clock. Like, how dumb do you have to be? How does that even happen? You have a timeout, or you're coming off of a timeout, and you put too many people on the field? What? Just dumbfounded by that. You really don't even see that in high school, let alone at a college level game where it means everything, and you're going to put 12 men on the field coming off the timeout. Great fucking job. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the whole Ryan Day situation is really interesting. They're gonna let him play out the rest of the season. So if he makes a good run, his job's probably saved. However, if we have another ugly game first round, I don't know how you could defend him anymore. But we'll see. We'll see. Coaching landscape too is really helping him out keep his job because not a lot of available options, except I was going to wait for the later in the show, except Urban Meyer, rumored that he is interested in the head coaching job at Ohio State. And there were sources from, reliable sources saying this stuff. First place I saw it was on Twitter somewhere. It got sent to me. And the Scarlet and Gray podcast, I don't listen to them, but they're verified. And it said that Urban Meyer would be open to coming back as the Buckeyes head coach, according to Jay Crawford. Jay Crawford's also another reliable source. Wouldn't that be some shit? Urban Meyer comes out of retirement, comes back to coach the Buckeyes. Only issue. This is going to be really controversial. I think Ryan Day is a better option as of right now than Urban Meyer. Whoa, no way you think that. Yeah, I'm sorry. Urban's been out of college football for 6 years? 5, 6 years? I think the game's probably passed him by. I also don't know if he's going to take this job at all. It's probably just trying to muddy up the water a little bit, get some attention. Could be wrong, but I don't know if he has genuine interest in coming back to coach Ohio State. And even if he did, there's a risk you take with bringing him in as the head coach. If you guys don't remember, he got upset a lot in games where he shouldn't have lost, like the Purdue game, the Iowa game, the Virginia Tech game. So you're most likely going to have games like that. And like I said before, he's been out of the game for so long. I don't know how he could just step right back into it. And I don't know. Again, this just came out today. Literally, I mean, I first saw it like 2 hours ago. So I haven't really looked into it that much. But I mean, it's a big rumor going around that he could be interested in coming back to coach Ohio State. I don't know. In my opinion, if I'm in that situation and dog just come in, if I'm in that situation, I there's definitely better options than Urban, and I love Urban to death. But hi, babies, I love Urban to death, but I just don't think he's the best option right now for Ohio State, and I think Ryan Day would probably be a better option. Um, but that's just because he's been out for so long. I don't know how he would take coming back to college football. So wild though, crazy that this comes out. I mean, just crazy day for college football. And then signing day today. A lot of smoke with that. I'm gonna go shut the store real quick. All right. Big flip today in the Ohio State world and Oregon world. Naheem Offord flipped to Oregon. A little upset about this, considering we also lost Trey McNutt to them, an Ohio kid, and not great. Not great. It's we lost two 5 stars. One's a safety, one's a corner. But we did get Devin Sanchez, which I think he's the better corner of the two. So I mean, definitely glad that we got him. But it does suck losing Naheem Offord to Oregon and Trey McNutt, an Ohio kid. Oregon, man, they looking like they're going to be really good. I mean, they came into the Big Ten, went undefeated. They're the only undefeated team left in college football. Most likely going to win the Big Ten, and year one of joining the conference. That's really good, really good. And like another powerhouse too, which I expected these teams to do good, but as far as winning the whole conference, like I didn't see Oregon winning the conference this year. I thought it was going to be Ohio State. A lot of people did. The SEC, I kind of got behind Texas winning that. I thought they were a really good team. I mean, they are. Uh, but how about those schools? First time joining their conference and going to play for the conference championship. Probably gonna. I would put my money on Texas to beat Georgia. Uh, and then probably same thing for the Oregon Penn State game. Speaking of, I wonder. I'm sure both those teams are favored. They have to be. I mean, they almost have to be. Yeah. Crazy times in college football. Crazy times. There was something else that I wanted to talk about. Maybe not. It was about the Ohio State game. Yes. That's right. So, watched the film, the offensive side of the film last night. It was a little brutal. Will played worse than I thought. And he didn't have just the worst QB performance I've ever seen, but he missed a lot of reads. I don't know if there's a very good chance he could have been playing concussed. I mean, I don't want to make any assumptions up, but very good chance he more than likely was hurt and playing hurt. Which in the long run, I mean, does that hurt you more playing with a injured Will Howard than letting Devin Brown roll out there and playing healthy? I don't know, but he didn't play great. He had some nice throws. I mean, don't get me wrong. He didn't play like an absolute shit game, but definitely struggled a lot more than I expected or I thought originally. And then the offensive line, they didn't play a bad game, not as bad as people think. And I mean, pass protection got a little shaky, especially when like Carson Hinzman was 1-on-1 with Kenneth Gray and Mason Graham, but those two are absolute freaks. Mason Graham's probably going to be a top 10 pick in this year's draft. Mason Graham's going to be a top 10 pick. I don't know if I said that in this year's draft. And then Kenneth Grant's Vinge first rounder. I would say he's a first rounder. And so offensive line got a little shaky when it came to that. And then, but for the most part, I thought pass pro, they did a pretty good job with all the injuries, with how good Michigan's defensive line is. I thought they did a pretty good job. Struggled a little bit, but I mean, you're going to have that with your starting center out, your starting left tackle out. You have to kick your guard out to left tackle and then bring someone in to replace Donovan. Like, set up to struggle a little bit. And then play calling. There were 7 stretch plays called for a total gain on those 7 for -3 yards. And then when we started to run counter and gap schemes and trap plays, stuff started to click. We were able to move the ball. I don't know why we got away from it. Don't know why we continued to run stretch throughout that game when it was just getting stuffed every single time. And the deep shot situation too with Jeremiah. We threw 3, I guess you could call. The touchdown, I don't know if you necessarily count that as a deep shot, but I think it was over 20. They were close. They were in the red zone, I believe. But you took 2 deep shots to Jeremiah Smith in that game and drew 2 PIs on both of them. Both were in the first half, and then the second half they come out and just puckered up and played so passive that they were just. It looked like they were almost doing clock management, like trying to chew clock. That's how passive they were playing. So you were practically 3-on-3 or 3-for-3 with the deep shots to Jeremiah and the shots over 20 yards. And you get away from it, don't even attempt anymore in the second half. I'm just dumbfounded. I wish someone would ask to either Ryan Day or Chip Kelly why they wanted to do that. What was the reasoning? What was the explanation for abandoning the shots downfield to Jeremiah and to other skilled players when you have the most talented perimeter in college football, the best 3 wide receivers in college football, the best group, and you don't even try to utilize them? Well, why? And then I also would want someone to ask, why'd you get away from the traps, the gap schemes, the counters? Because it worked. It worked really well. Why would you abandon that? I did hear Ryan Day say after the game that he didn't want to abandon the run, but I also want to know who was calling plays, because I have heard some places that Ryan Day just took over play calling for that game, and then others have just said it was Chip Kelly. But either way, whoever the hell was calling those plays, a lot of explaining to do, because I mean, every single fan, including Michigan's DC Wink Martindale, after the game was dumbfounded by the play calling. He literally said, like, "What? Why didn't they attack us?" He was in shock just as much as we were. You're playing a game where they don't have Will Johnson, and their secondary has been a weakness all year. And then when they are down a first round corner, the best corner in the country, and you don't attempt to attack them at all, especially in the second half. I mean, first half, You attacked them and it worked. Why abandon it? It's just frustrating. And I still have yet to watch the defensive side of the film. Um, that's gonna be hard because those boys played their ass off. The defense played their ass off all game long, and I mean, Michigan scored 13 points, and the one touchdown that they had was off of a pick, and they got the ball at the two. Like defense, I don't care what anyone says, they allowed 6 points all day. They didn't even allow a touchdown. It was the same thing for the Penn State game. Penn State scored 13. Their only touchdown was a pick six, which essentially was what that pick was. They got the ball to two. Deja vu to last year with Kyle McCord throwing that pick to Will, and they get the ball at the six. I'm just very frustrating. And speaking of Kyle McCord, let me see if I could find the clip of him. I'd like you guys to hear it. But I mean, if you guys don't know, Syracuse beat Miami this past weekend and knocked them out of the ACC championship game. And he was asked about, the win, and then they brought up that Ohio State lost. And anyways, I can't find the video. They asked him about, hey, you win today, and then how's it feel that the school you transferred from takes an L to Michigan? And he said, everything comes full circle. I'm sorry, Kyle. If you were playing today and you never transferred, same outcome would have happened. In fact, last year, I would argue that you were the sole reason we lost that game. You threw two costly interceptions. You didn't have to fire at all. And Will Howard's a better quarterback overall. And so the fact that you said everything comes full circle, when if you were put in this situation, you would have lost to that. Oh, it's so frustrating. But I mean, he's got full rights to talk that shit because he did win while we lost to a 6-5 team. So hurts, and it sucks that that was the outcome. And we have Kyle McCord talking his shit about us. Like, it's just so frustrating. So frustrating as a Buckeye fan. Oh, we do have playoffs, though. I mean, we're not out. And the rankings came out last night, and we were sixth. And it looks like, as of now, we are scheduled to play Tennessee at home. I mean, of course, that could change. Depends on what happens this weekend with the conference championships. But more than likely, with how everything looks right now, we are going to be hosting a playoff game, and it looks like it's going to be Tennessee, which is going to be interesting because Tennessee's a pretty solid team. I mean, Nico is a probably top 10 quarterback in college football. They have a really good, scares me, really good front seven. Ricky Pearsall, or no, not Ricky Pearsall. Oh my god, what the hell? Where did that name come from? Uh, their defensive end. Anyway, I don't know why I'm blanking on his name, but he's a top 3 pick in this year's draft, and they have a really good D line, really good front seven. They rotate a lot of guys, so that if we do play them, may have the same outcome in the offensive like that. That's going to be a tough game. Is Michigan ranked after the win? No, they're not. I don't know how you could rank a 7-5 team, but yeah, they're not ranked. Not ranked. Anyways, yeah, about that. If we do play Tennessee, I mean that'd be a good game. And the way the bracket was set is if we do beat Tennessee, then we go play Arizona State at a neutral site. So I mean, we get past Tennessee. I can't really say that game's a gimme because I thought that this past weekend was a gimme. There's a good shot we can make it to the semis. I don't know. We definitely have a shot at winning it all, as tough as that is to say. but I mean, there's not really a dominant team in college football this year. Uh, I mean, if you think about it, Oregon, but they showed that they were beatable, and we played them. And Autzen lost by one. Wisconsin played them, almost beat them. So there's really not a dominant team in college football this year, and like there were in past years. I'd argue last year there weren't any dominant teams. I mean, Michigan was probably the one. The year before that, though, like Georgia. The year before that one, Georgia. I mean, 2020 Alabama, 2019 LSU. This year, I mean, it could be anyone's ball game who makes the playoffs. Texas has a good shot of winning it. Ohio State does. Oregon does. Alabama, if Jalen Milroe can chill out on those picks, I think they could be a dangerous team. But that's a big if because boy, oh boy, does that man turn the ball off or turn the ball over a lot. Georgia, I don't know. There's just really not a dominant team in college football this year. So it's going to be interesting. The playoffs is really every matchup is going to be a game probably, and there's no clear cut winner. I mean, I'd have to say the favorites Oregon to win it all this year. Only undefeated team left, and they've looked the most dominant. But even then, I mean, they have shown they are beatable. Gonna be interesting to see though with the playoffs. I'm trying to think who plays this weekend. I know Oregon and Penn State are in the Big Ten championship. I think Oregon will win that one. SEC championship games, Georgia, Texas. Say Texas would win that. The Mountain West. That might actually be a pretty good game. Boise State versus UNLV. Oh man, it's Friday's game. That might be a really good game. UNLV's they're not bad. And if they beat Boise, will UNLV get in the playoffs? They're ranked 20th right now. That might be a game to keep your eye on. Big 12 championship, Arizona State, Iowa State. God, who would have guessed that? Who would have guessed that your conference championship for the Big 12 is going to be Arizona State, Iowa State? And then ACC is Clemson, SMU. Yeah, it's gonna be. This is an interesting week. And if Clemson wins, every single one of these conference champions, if they win, they're in. I think including the Mountain West. I'm pretty sure if UNLV wins, they yeah, because they're also Power 5. Yeah. UNLV's record. They are 10-2. They're 10-2. So yeah, I mean if they win, they're in. They're in the playoffs because it's the 4 highest rated conference champs. Which I mean, if Boise does lose and they win, I don't know if they'd get the bye, but I'm sure they'd probably sneak into 12 or 11 minimum. So that could be a game to keep your eye on. Boise on upset alert, and I'm pretty sure they both played this year too before. And I think it was a close game. Yeah, they played in October at UNLV, and Boise beat them 29-24. So the rematch game, can UNLV win? Boise's favored by 4 points. Huh. That's could be a very good game. Yeah, I agree. I think that might be Boise might be on upset alert for that game. Gonna be interesting to see. Actually, I want to deep dive real quickly into all these conference championship games. Let me look at the I want to look at the rankings real quickly to see how some of these scenarios would play out. Damn. Clemson's 9-3, and if they beat SMU, they're gonna get a first round bye. Or no, would they? Yeah, it just depends. Because I guess Boise has that slot right now, if I'm not mistaken, which means it's going to be the winner of the Big 12 or the winner of the ACC doesn't get a first round bye. Damn. Could you imagine being one of those schools and playing in the ACC or Big 12 and you don't get a first round bye because Boise State popped off this year? So the bracket as of now is Oregon with the 1 seed. Okay. I don't know what just happened there. Oregon with the 1 seed, Texas with the 2 seed, SMU 3, Boise 4. Oh, wait, that's not. Oh, shit. Okay, so this is the NCAA's playoff bracket, and they have Ohio State, Tennessee at Ohio State. Winner of that goes to play Oregon. And then Penn State. Oh, my gosh. The 5th seed, dude, the 5th seed is probably the best seed you can get. Penn State is projected to get the 5th right now. And they would play number 12 Arizona State, and if they beat them, they go to play Boise at a neutral site. What a fucking give me! What a give me to the semis if someone gets that 5th seed and then everything plays out like this. Winner of Georgia, Indiana would go play Texas, and then winner of Notre Dame, Bama would go play SMU. That's also another. Well, the Notre Dame Bama game would be tough, but SMU I think would be a gimme win to whoever wins that game. And this is if like Oregon wins the SEC or Oregon wins the Big Ten, Texas wins the SEC, SMU wins the ACC, and then Boise wins the Mountain West, and then obviously Arizona State if they win the Big 12. This is how this would play out. Huh. So I was wrong about Ohio State. If they beat Tennessee, if they'd go play Arizona State. Yeah. Well, our path to the playoffs is harder than I expected. I hope Penn State wins then. Because then we could play Penn State on a neutral site, feel good about that game. But fuck, James Franklin's going to James Franklin it up and lose in the big in the conference championship. You already know. Ashton Genty's carrying Boise State. Oh, no doubt. No doubt. Without him, they don't have the success that they do this year. The thing with Ashton, I don't know how good. He rushed well against Oregon, rushed for almost 200 yards and had 3 touchdowns. And the thing that sucks is he could have easily won a Heisman this year if he wasn't at Boise and if he was at a Power 5 school and he's playing better talent. But it just hurts him that he's playing Mountain West teams all the time. But who knows if he'd even have the same success if he was playing at Power 5 school. I think he'd still be a top 10 back in college football. Probably top 5, but I don't know if he's going to be rushing for fucking 200 yards a game. He could win it if he played the second half of games. Yeah. Most of Boise's games, though, he played a majority of the second half. If I'm not mistaken. Like the Oregon game, he obviously played a full game. Georgia Southern, I'm assuming he played most of the game. That was a close game for some odd reason. Obviously, Oregon, he played a full game. Portland State, looks like he sat out second half. Washington State, I mean, there's definitely a. Oh, dude, I don't even know how good Boise is. They beat Wyoming by 4. Nevada gave him a game. Georgia Southern gave him a game. Yeah, I don't think Boise does much in the playoffs this year. If they make it, UNLV might beat them this weekend, which I honestly think could happen. It might happen. I know college football fans are getting heartbroken too because they love Boise, which I mean, who doesn't? How can you not like Boise and Ashton Genty? But I just don't see how they even stand a chance. I don't know. It's just really weird though. Like they played the number 1 team in the country, lost by 3, but struggled to Georgia Southern. Their blue field goes hard. Yeah, it does. It's weird as hell to watch though. Like those guys will blend in sometimes and hurts my eyes a little bit. I'd love to go to a game in Boise. I feel like that'd be super fun. Go on the blue field or watch. Yep. I mean, at least this weekend I get to watch as just a normal college football fan. I have really no care for who wins, who loses. So I'm not going to have to be stressing out. And I really don't think it affects us at all with who wins and who loses. I mean, unless if Penn State won. Nah, that changed the whole landscape, though, actually, now I'm thinking about it. Because Penn State probably wouldn't be seeded 1. It'd be Texas if they win. A lot of ifs, though. Yeah, this bracket could change a lot with this weekend if some crazy stuff happens. So, can't even bank on what's the projected bracket right now. Also, all the conference champ losers except for ACC, Big 12, and Mountain West are getting in. So, like, whoever loses the SEC title games in, the announcers already talked about that with the Georgia Tech game, which I don't understand at all. So, if Georgia would be, they're going to be 10-3 if they lose this weekend, and they're still going to get in the playoffs. But I mean, the committee did say they're not going to hold it against the team if they lose in the conference championship game. Big Ten, you could get behind a little bit because, I mean, if Penn State loses, they're going to have 2 losses. If Oregon loses, they're going to have 1 loss, so you can't knock them out. But like, Georgia, who is your projected champ? That's tough right now. I mean, if I say Ohio State, it's going to be like bias, I guess. I mean, I think we have a shot. There's just really no clear cut dominant team. I like Oregon to win it. But if Texas is on their game, if Quinn Ewers is playing lights out, I probably say Texas. Down to and Tennessee too. I mean, I think Tennessee has a realistic shot of winning it all too. I really like Tennessee. Um, Nico's got to get a little bit better, but I mean, they feel like they got the talent to do it and the defense to do it too. I'd say one of those 4 schools, but I mean, if I had to pick one, I want to go with Ohio State so bad because I feel like our guys are going to be fired up after that loss. But we'll stay away from it because I'm a fan. I'll say Texas. Texas is probably my pick to win the Natty this year. Well, Sark gets his first Natty as a head coach. Damn, that'll hurt too. Like Quinn Ewers leaves, goes and wins a national championship before we do. Oh, whoa. Cam Ward. Cam Ward took some shots today. If you guys didn't see, they Miami was officially eliminated from the playoffs. Them, Ole Miss, and there's another school. Can't think of it. But he came out and said, I mean, at the end of the day, them boys who are in that committee, I really doubt they watch tape or not. We're playing better defenses, in my opinion, than the SEC. Okay, yeah, you lost me at the end of that. ACC does. They're like the Big 12. None of those teams play defense. If Miami was playing in the SEC, they probably wouldn't even be fucking bowl eligible. Oh God, Jackson Arnold just. Damn, there's a lot of stuff that I missed today. Jackson Arnold plans to enter the transfer portal. Him and Miller Moss are in there. Battle of the mid quarterbacks. Huh. Is there any more news? I think that's it. Gosh, college football with like commits flipping on signing day and then the transfer portal, it's literally like the NFL now. It's just with the off season. I mean, like usually with college football off season before the transfer portal just really opened up, it was kind of like just boring. I mean, with you, I mean, you have recruits and then coaching hires and then occasionally a transfer portal news update. But now it's like full on NFL with free agency and stuff where players are going to a new team every single and like big name players too are going to a new team. If Miami played in the SEC, they might only win one conference game. Yeah, I completely agree. Their defense is fucking atrocious. Atrocious. It has been all year. So I mean they should have lost more games this year than what they did. I mean they went 10 they finished 10-2. There was a lot of games that they barely won. Did they even pick off Kyle? Oh my god, they didn't. Kyle McCord didn't. He played a mistake-free game, and he's leading the nation in interceptions. Comes out against Miami and throws no picks. Damn. We only lost one guy. Ohio State only lost one recruit today, just Naheem. And then we flipped a defensive end from UCLA, which they projected was going to happen today. Epi Citinelli. Actually, let's see the recruiting news. I want to see if I missed anything else just because so much has happened. Five-star Solomon Thomas is flipped from Florida State to LSU. That's some big news. Bryce Underwood signed. Nico's younger brother flipped from UCLA to Arkansas. But that's big. I didn't see that. Jakeem Stewart committed to USC. Ohio State was trying to get him to commit. Damn. USC, why? That's a shock. I mean, if I was a 5-star defensive lineman, I wouldn't go to USC. Just me though. Oregon, damn, dude. Oregon flipped 2 5-stars. They flipped a quarterback too. The Cal commit flipped him. He's at Oregon. Cade McNamara's in the portal. Oh God. Connor Wigman's in the portal now. CJ Daniels is in the portal. Oh shit! What the hell? Is that it? Yeah, it's about it. About all the portal news and stuff for today. A lot of stuff I missed though. Jakeem Stewart to USC. Wow. Oklahoma State fired both their coordinators. And I think we're caught up. Well, so did Oregon? I'm assuming Oregon had to have finished now with the #1 class in the country. They flipped 2 5-stars. Texas is what? They're only 4th. Texas is #1. They Oregon has a chance to go on a full dive. Dude, I completely agree. I mean, especially with NIL, they have Phil Knight backing them up. That's scary. That is really scary. And the same thing for Michigan too. The second richest man in the world. I don't know if you listened to what Dave Portnoy said, but how they got I don't remember the dude's name, but the second richest person in the world is the reason that they got Bryce Underwood is because he's dating a person that's a Michigan fan that went to Michigan. That is scary. That is really scary. I mean, we need someone for Ohio State to just step in and JD Vance, man, you're an Ohio guy. You're freaking vice president to Trump. Have him donate. It's not going to happen, but yeah, they got to pump the brakes on this NIL stuff for sure. It's going to get out of hand. Yeah, I mean, it already is out of hand. Fucking a person that hasn't even played in college football yet is making 12 mil now. Like that is the craziest shit. Literally hasn't played a snap. He is still in high school. The kid is like my age and 12 mil just like that, and he hasn't even played in college football yet. Like, damn, if he just is a complete bust and doesn't even make it to the NFL, or hell, like doesn't even see the college football field, he's set for life. Just based off his high school performance. That is nuts. Where the fuck did I go wrong? I just don't get it. But yeah, they got to pump the brakes on the NIL stuff, which I'm assuming they will before it gets just completely out of hand. I mean, like the only regulation that they have is that the school itself can't pay players. Everything else is free game. Yeah, it's out of hand, and now it's integrating into high school. Yeah. Now high school, they don't make, I mean, nearly as much, but it's still flooding into high school sports. See, I mean, I don't know your stance on it, but I'm fine with paying players. I mean, I think with how much the university makes off of them, that they definitely deserve some. And like, I get it that they have full ride scholarships and that they don't have to pay for anything, but they should get some money. Now, as far as like 12 million, no, absurd. But I mean, I think they deserve to make some, especially if like there's a case like Johnny Manziel. I mean, fuck, Texas A&M probably made tens of millions of dollars off of him. You know, Tim Tebow at Florida, those special cases. I mean, those players definitely deserve a shot at making some money and doing stuff. But definitely gonna have to get regulations in here soon, more regulations because it can get out of hand really, really quick. And it's on that path right now. So this offseason, I hope they really look into it and set a bunch of ground rules down. And it's probably going to piss a lot of players off, but like definitely some money, but not millions. Yeah, I completely agree. Completely agree. I think if players can make a couple 100,000, that's fine. But just some call like the Bryce Underwood one, just still, he's making more than some NFL players. Could you imagine you're a backup in the NFL and your salary is, probably 2 million. Like if you're a backup QB for, let's just say, I mean, they make a decent amount. Like Jameis Winston, I'm pretty sure is making 5 mil for the Browns right now. A kid in high school is making more than you. Like that would piss me off so much. Gosh, that just make me sick. I mean, you worked your way up for so long and you've been in the league for a while, and this kid has signed a contract that is more than any of your contracts you've ever made in the NFL. And you're a veteran like that. Mind boggling to me. Oh, damn, we've been live for almost 50 minutes. I want to look at something for the Oregon game, and then I'll probably chat disconnected. Please wait, we're trying to disconnect you. I heard somewhere that Penn State's favored. I don't know if that's true. There's no way. No. Oregon's favored by 3.5. Texas is only a 2.5 point favorite. I guess that's fair. That game's in Georgia. It's a fucking home game for Georgia. SMU's favored. I don't know about that, man. When does the actual playoffs start? College football playoff. When do the actual playoffs start? And I know it's the end of this month, but December 15th? That seems way too early. No, that was wrong. Friday, December 20th. So 3 weeks from now? 3 weeks from now? Okay. So we're gonna have 1, 2, 3. Will that be like 3 weeks of postseason play? 3, 4 weeks. The national championship is on January 20th. Holy shit! I feel like that. Whoa. So are they gonna go like? Starts the 21st. Round 1, 2, 3, 4. They're gonna have a week in between some of these games. Yeah, they're gonna have to. So go like 21st, and I'm assuming next round will be played that weekend, and then maybe they get a bye week for the semis before the semis start, or they just go. They might have to stagger it, so to go like first round's played on the 21st, 22nd, then they play the 28th, 29th, bye week on the 4th, semis the 11th, bye week, and then national championship. I wish they played the national championship on a freaking Saturday. Never mind. They're competing with the NFL. I didn't even think about that. They're going to be competing with the NFL anyways on these games. Because it's going to leak into the NFL's postseason too. Huh. What are you guys watching? NFL postseason or college football playoff postseason this year when they intermix with each other? Because I'm fucking watching college ball all day. Unless if I'm still watching college ball if the Browns are on this year. Still watching it. I think you almost have to. NFL? Really? I'm just a college guy throughout. I don't know. I mean, I like the NFL and all, but like for me, like I sit down and watch college football regularly on Saturdays. Literally, I watch all the time, like from noon to 11. I could do it easily. I many times this year watched like well, it's not Pac-12 after dark anymore, but Detroit's making a run. Are you a Detroit fan? Yeah, they're probably gonna win the Super Bowl. But I mean, I'll sit down and watch college for 12 hours straight. From noon to 11, 12 at night. NFL, I just can't do the same. I don't know why. I mean, I watch the Browns play, but if the Browns aren't playing on Sunday, I probably won't even turn any NFL games on. I'll watch the primetime games if they're good, or like if there's a Chiefs Bills game, but just doesn't feel the same for me. I don't know why. I just don't find it as entertaining as college. So like even the college football postseason or NFL regular season, you'd rather watch the NFL over like a college football postseason? Watch the red zone for 9 hours? Not me, man. I can't. Just can't do it. I could probably do it when college football season's over. That's just because there's no more football on. So I might as well just watch what I can get. Let's. There's 3 people in here. That question's to everyone: college football or NFL. It's just. I mean, NFL is probably the favorite. More people watch it, especially around my age too. Younger kids, that's like all they watch is NFL. Not a whole lot of college football geeks like me. This is breaking news. What? SMU's horse is traveling with him to Charlotte. That's breaking news. All right. The breaking news: Brutus the Buckeyes. gonna be like that's really breaking news. I mean, I guess it's a live horse, so it makes it a little bit more interesting. But I don't see stuff when Bevo travels with Texas or UGA or Florida State's horse and mascot. Oh, one more thing. I don't know if anyone has the answer to this. Do you guys ever, especially with recruiting? I mean, it's the only thing with recruiting, but like especially on signing day. No, I guess it's leaked through the whole season. It'll be like 5-star wide receiver, 5-star corner, and then you'll go to the recruiting rankings and it'll be 4 stars. Do you know why? Do you know why people do that? Like today, Ohio State did it with their linebacker. What's the kid's name? And he's a 4-star. I mean, he's still a really good player, but Riley Riley Pettijohn. One of the things was like breaking news: Riley Pettijohn, the 5-star linebacker, signs with Ohio State, and he's a 4-star. Unless if like On3 and 24/7 have different rankings, I guess that would be the only thing that makes sense. But and ESPN, but you would even then I don't understand that. I feel like everyone should just have the same recruiting rankings, kind of like college football playoff brackets. Like what wouldn't make sense if CBS came out and they're like number one's Texas, two Oregon, and then ESPN says number one's Oregon, two's Texas for the playoff bracket. I've never understood that though. I don't know why people do that. Speaking, and then there's another person on YouTube that I see all the time, and he'll say number one quarterback in the class of 2025, and then he'll say it for like 4 different people. He'll be like, and then the number one quarterback for class 2020. This kid is a freak. This kid is a freak of nature. Like, how many number ones can you fucking have? And I'll go look him up, and they'll be like 110th in the country, like 30th position wise. Come on, y'all. It could just be for attention. I never really thought about that. Could just be for attention and clicks. Like, because obviously a 5-star is going to be more flashy than some 4-star. Oh, fuck it. We'll just go for an hour. Might as well. We're already almost there. This was fun, though. I really enjoyed this. I'll come in with for the next live show and have more to talk about. Today was obviously the first time I'm doing it, so it was kind of just a experiment, I guess. And obviously, when if we get more people in here, spark up more conversation and be better. But first time doing it, I think it was pretty successful, pretty fun to do. Ow! Ooh, that fucking hurt. It really fucking hurt. Ow! God, I'm still seeing stuff about the fight, the Ohio State fight. This urban stuff is everywhere, dude. I, I'm probably one of the few Ohio State fans that's because like everyone I've talked to say bring Urban back, and I'm like, he's a great coach, but he's just been out for so long. I don't know how he would take coming back, especially with NILs available now. I mean, that's probably the biggest thing. NIL's a thing. You know, when he left, it wasn't even close to being a thing. It's just a different time in college football. And I and that's even if he would actually want to take the job. This could just be a huge rumor. But I mean it was reported that he himself said it. I don't know. Okay, well, that's going to be the question, especially to Ohio State fans. Would you want Urban Meyer to be the next coach at Ohio State? Because personally, I just don't want him. I don't think he is the best fit for us, and I would rather roll with Ryan Day. I know that's fucking absurd. I'd rather roll with Ryan Day than Urban Meyer. I think he would be better for us. That's just my opinion, though. I just, like I said, I don't know how Urban would handle coming back after being out for so long. So, see, we've hit the hour mark. Probably gonna wrap it up now. Um, the few people that popped in here, thank you. Austin, shout out to you for coming in, talking. Appreciate it. Sparking up a lot of conversation. Would have made this, it just made this way more entertaining for me. So just sitting here and speaking to literally no one. So just gonna start doing this more though. Not an Ohio State fan, but probably, as you said, just a different time. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how he would handle it. Like I said, he's been out for so long. Yeah, it'd be a little bit different if this was 2, 3 years ago, and I'd be like, okay, well, he's freshly out, but the game's changed a lot. I mean, the game changes every single year, and then you have outside factors like NIL that play a huge role in it. So, and the transfer portal too. I mean, I think that would honestly be an advantage to Urban. I mean, he's a good recruiter, so I think the transfer portal would probably benefit him some. But other than that, there are so many different factors that play into this that I don't know how he would handle. So, anyways, with that being said, had fun. Gonna start doing this way more. So if you want to come in and join, I'll post when I'm gonna do it next. I don't know exactly when. Maybe before. Maybe we'll do it Friday before the conference championship games. So have a great day. Appreciate you for tuning in and watching. And that's about it, man. Take care, y'all.